It is Friday, June 27th, 2025. Welcome to another edition of Baseball Today. And with me, I got my all ball knowing friend Dalton Feely back for your third episode on Baseball Today. Intern Sawyer, producer Dan, along for the ride as well. Dalt, how you feeling, man?
I feel like an opener going back-to-back days coming on from Baseball Today, talking some ball with you. I'm ready to go. Lots of good topics today. Let's talk some ball.
Is this your third spot start of the year?
I think it's my fourth. I think
Oh
we're at
my.
4 already. Yeah.
The people are clamoring, more Dalt, more Dalt, more Dalt.
Get that guy away. No.
It depends on the day, okay,
Right.
people. We're going to start this episode like we always do with a tip of the cap. Mine's backwards, so boom. Tip of the cap right there to Jacob deGrom. The game is better when Jacob deGrom is on the mound. He ends up taking a no-hitter, into the 8th inning against the Baltimore Orioles. Ends up giving a base knock to start. Bruce Bochy takes him out. But on the year, he's been incredible. A 2.08 ERA, vintage Jacob deGrom. Should be in the All-Star game. How cool is it to see him back throwing the way that he is right now, Dalton?
It's awesome. And you nailed it on the head with him being like better for baseball. We say that about Mike Trout on the offensive side, and I think deGrom's that equivalent on the pitching side. It's crazy. He's already at 95 and a third innings pitched. That's the most he's thrown since 2019. And I was shocked to see that this was his longest no-hit bid of his career, because like this guy's been dominant, especially in the late 2010s, like 2-time Cy Young Award winner. He's been nasty. So for this to be at age 37, his longest no-hit bid of his career, crazy. It's awesome to have him back and dominate for the Rangers.
So he ended up throwing 89 pitches. Do you think Bruce Bochy and probably Jacob deGrom himself were happy that he gave the hit, so he didn't have to test that 110 type pitch count to get it?
Bochy was 1,000% happy about it. He's like, thank gosh. He's, wiping the sweat away from his forehead. I think deGrom, I think he wanted to go for it. I mean, it's a historic achievement to get a no-hitter. So I feel like he's not even at, he was at not even at 90, Trev. Let him go if he had a chance. But once you give the hit, easy choice, pull the plug.
All right. Shout out to deGrom. It's great to see you back on the mound. But let's get this show started. And we got a little bit of a dust up there in Cleveland. The Toronto Blue Jays, they take 2 out of 3 from the Guardians. They're keeping pace in the AL East. George Springer with a big grand slam, but it was a couple of hit by pitches that really stole the show. You see here, Tanner Bybee goes up and into Vlad. It's the second time Vlad had gotten hit in the series, and he was not very happy about it. So what do the Blue Jays do the very next inning? Well, they go up and in and nail Jose Ramirez. This started, kind of a little scuffle here. Stephen Vogt comes out in between innings to say something to the dugout. I guess my question to you here is, do you think any of these or either of these were intentional? And what are your feelings on just kind of how everything transpired?
Yeah, I think let's start with Vlad. Let's go in order. I think both of his instances of getting hit by a pitch weren't on purpose. So starting that Wednesday night, Jacob Junis comes in, doesn't have control of his sinker. Vladdy's the first batter he faces. His first pitch he throws was a sinker that missed inside. We get to a 1-1 count, and then that sinker just runs in again and hits him. Vladdy, it's a 92-mile-per-hour sinker. Vladdy's obviously not happy, but he doesn't show his displeasure at that point. Then we fast forward to Thursday. 2-2 count. Bybee then drills him with a 95-mile-per-hour pitch. All 4 pitches that Bybee had thrown prior were low in the zone, so I think he was just trying to go up and in, kind of freeze him, but that, again, ran in on him. And I don't blame Vladdy for getting pissed off. If I got drilled back-to-back days with fastballs or sinkers, I'm not going to be thrilled either. I want to go up there and mash. Vladdy wants to go up there and mash, so I totally understand his displeasure of getting plunked twice. I do not think either were intentional. It wouldn't make sense in either of those instances during the game to plunk Vladdy. Now, on the other hand, the Jose Ramirez, I 1,000% think it's intentional. I know Kevin Gausman and John Schneider, manager of the Blue Jays, have both come out and said, this wasn't intentional. No, look away. We didn't do it on purpose. Yeah, I mean, come on, Trev. It's a first batter of the inning, first pitch of the at-bat, 95 miles per hour, right in the ribs, kind of high and tight.
This is still part of the game, very much part of the game. Do I like the fact that Jose Ramirez had to wear something because John Schneider thought that okay, hold on. Let me back this up. Schneider came out with a quote after the game. He said, "I know they're not trying to throw at Vlad.
Right.
We're not trying to throw at Hosey." That's the lie there. But the truth is, he also knows they're not trying to throw at Vlad. Now, do you have an onus to protect your players as a manager? Also, yes. So that's why this happened. I've been vocal about not wanting guys to get hit on purpose. That's more so when they're just raking and you feel the need to shuffle their feet or something like that. This is still very much in the game. Even Stephen Vogt says, "I knew they were going to go after Hosey, just wanted them to do it the right way. Up and in the ribs, not the right way necessarily." So you mentioned Gausman has only hit 2 left-handed batters in his entire career. The last one was in 2016. So yes, this one was intentional. There's no doubt about it. I don't know, man. It's a weird thing for me because what did Jose Ramirez have to do with any of this? The only thing Jose Ramirez had to do with it is the fact that he's a really good baseball player and he's the best hitter on the Cleveland Guardians. So now all of a sudden he has to wear it, and I think he's going to be okay. They both him and Vlad ended up leaving the game. I think Jose is going to be okay. But like if he has to miss an extended period of time, like it's ridiculous. So I know it's part of the game. Do I want it out of the game? Yes. Do I understand that you have to have your players' backs? Yes, also. So it's one of those like damned if you do, damned if you don't situations where it's really tough to take a stance on this. Like I think my overall stance is I don't want anyone to get hit on purpose, and this clearly was on purpose.
Yeah, and I totally get why Stephen Vogt came out, and he was a little hot. I mean, your best player is Jose Ramirez, and it's not even close who's your best hitter in that lineup. Protect your guy too, because it stinks that we had to see both Vlad and J-Ram leave this game. They were 2 of the best players in that game, 2 of the best batters in baseball. So for both those guys to get hit in the arm and leave the game, it's not good for baseball. It's not a good product when your stars are getting plunked on purpose and being forced to leave games.
Don't you wish John Snyder could just say, "Hey, dude, like, yeah, I'm trying to protect my players. I'm trying to protect my guys. This is the way baseball has been played for 100 years." Like, I guess he's just protecting his pocketbook.
That's when it gets suspended at this point. Like it's like yes, everyone knows it's on purpose, but at the same time, like I can't say it because it would be a bad look if I said, yeah, we're throwing 95.
It's not a bad look though. It's the truth. I don't think it's a bad look. It's the truth. I mean, the only thing you're doing is, I don't want to be suspended. I don't want to give up my paycheck, essentially.
Yeah, and I guess that's fair. I could totally see why Schneider would do that.
I don't love it.
Me neither.
I don't love that we had to lead the show with it, but there are 2 prominent players in the big leagues, and I also thought it was interesting to see Vogt go out there and speak his mind. I think he's understands that. I believe both these guys were former catchers. Wasn't Schneider a catcher as well?
I believe so. Don't
quote me on that. Looks like a catcher. If I had to pinpoint a position, that guy would have played catcher. It's about the only one I could see. All right, Dart, let's move on to the second topic. Another great series here. This one interdivision between the Cubs and the Cardinals. They end up splitting a 4-game set here, and we saw great baseball from the Cardinals early on. They win the first 2 games. Mason Wynn with a big game. We saw him hit a 2 RBI double. We saw him hit a 2-run homer, then score from second on PCA's mental error there, where he forgot how many outs. We saw Nolan Arenado end that 8-7 game with a barehanded chopper play that was awesome as the Cubs were threatening. So the Cardinals, they win their first 2 games. They're about to close ground in the NL Central, and then what happens? Well, they don't score any more runs because not only did Matthew Boyd have a great start, but Shota Imanaga is back for the Cubs. He ends up going 5 shutout innings in his return. That's been the one question mark with this Cubs team is what are they going to get from them rotation? Boyd has been great all year. He's 11 quality starts on the year. It's been awesome to see him do his thing. Pretty much everybody else in that rotation has been up and down. Ben Brown's been that way. Tyone's been that way. Obviously, they've lost Justin Steele. Getting Shota Imanaga back is huge for them. My question to you, Dal, is that enough to stabilize this team in their rotation, or do you think that they need to go out and still add an arm at the deadline?
I think they still need to go out and add an arm. Shota is a huge impact. Like, don't get me wrong. You get your ace back, I know, and they've been missing Justin Steele too after getting Tommy John, and that's a huge blow to that rotation because You're supposed to have two better lefties in baseball in Shota and Justin Steele. Shota misses an extended period of time. Steele now out for the season. But yeah, I do think they have to go out and go get another starter. As you mentioned, Ben Brown and Jameson Tyone, Colin Wright have been kind of inconsistent. Prior to the shutout that Matthew Boyd and the Cubs had on Wednesday, the three previous games, they allowed 23 runs between Tyone, Brown, and Colin Wright, including 11 total home runs by the entire Cubs pitching staff. That's a problem. I'm sorry. That is a major red flag. And then in June of 2025, the Cubs rotation, second to last in Ks per nine. We're not punching tickets. I'm a big strikeout guy. I want it's a way to predict success is, not limiting that contact, no hard hit balls. The only team behind the Cubs, the Colorado Rockies, historically bad team. But Shota Imanaga, man, he's such a good pitcher. He's an ace. And you miss him for 2 months, but he should be the stopper on this team. They have to go out and add another guy to that caliber, because if you have Imanaga, insert name here, and Matthew Boyd, that is a fearsome trio that could be a very good rotation in the playoffs, but they need to add another arm at this current point to get themselves in a better spot for the playoff hunt.
I agree. Power righty would be great for them, and there are a couple of those guys down in Miami that might be shopped, so we'll see how that goes. I think it's really important because as we're looking at the NL Central here, the Reds are playing really good ball as of late. There are 6 games back. The Cardinals, just split the series. They've been playing great ball all year long, 4.5 games back. And the Brewers, Jacob Mizorowski now leading that rotation. They're 3 games back. It's going to come down to it. And if the Cubs want to keep these teams at bay and win this division, yeah, they're going to have to add an arm. It's great to see Shota back. He's one of the more entertaining pitchers to watch in baseball. I just love the way he twirls the pill. It was great to see him back, but I do think they need to add. And they're going to have the opportunity. There's going to be some arms out there. I don't know if Arizona is going to be one of those teams. I know we talk about that almost every single episode. They've been treading water as well. No doubt about that. I do think they're going to be arms available for them. And they got to be one of the teams at the forefront to scoop one up.
Yeah, and Trev, I think the biggest thing with Imanaga, he's done a very good job helping the Cubs win games. In his career starts with the Cubs, the Cubs are 29-9 when Shota Imanaga starts games. When you're winning ball games like that at that clip, that brings a major impact to your team. I kind of like the Edward Cabrera fit too. That would be an interesting one in that.
Well, he's going to cost a pretty penny because he's got a lot of years of control left,
right?
Making basically nothing. He's through the arbitration process right now, so that's going to be interesting to see. And you talk about strikeouts with the Cubs. I mean, they play great defense. They don't necessarily need strikeouts, sure. But it is nice to have that. No doubt about it. And that brings us to, speaking of something that's nice to have, it's time for our Like a Bosch Player of the Week, brought to you by Bosch Power Tools. Just like Bosch Power Tools, this player got the job done through hard work, grit, and determination. Who you got, Dalt? Who's your Bosch Player of the Week?
My Bosch Player of the Week is Hunter Brown of the Houston Astros. Dude, this guy, speaking of twirling the pill, he's been doing it all year and basically since last June. On Thursday versus the Phillies, who we may talk about later, goes 7 shutty with 9 Ks, allows just 3 singles in the game. He has 1.74 ERA through his 16 starts to begin 2025, is the 4th best in Astros history, in the likes of Nolan Ryan, Roger Clemens, and Justin Verlander. Pretty darn good company to be in, Trev, when I'm mentioning guys like that. So Hunter Brown's been amazing. But let's look at the big picture too. Outside of this week, he's right now in the Cy Young race, but going back to his last 32 starts, basically since the end of June 2024, he's first in hard contact allowed, minimizing that hard contact. Second in ERA with a 2.14 ERA. Opposing batters are batting 200 with his 4th in ERA. He's allowing his 6th in home runs per 9. He's 7th in WHIP, 7th in innings. This guy has just been getting the job done week in, week out, start in, start out. Hunter Brown, I know we talk about Framber Valdez being the ace of the Astros rotation, and we talk about other guys in this American League like Tarek Skubal, Max Fried, Garrett Crochet. Hunter Brown leads the league in ERA so far this season. He's been a dog. Another great outing versus the Phillies. He's 1,000% my Bosch Player of the Week.
I love that you picked him. I love watching him throw, and to see him kind of turn into this ace that we're talking about is super special. For me, I'm going with the guy, Max Muncy, who, he was in Colorado, but over the week, 6 for 16, 3 homers, 13 runs driven in. That included a grand slam, which I believe we're seeing here. But his swing, man, is something special when it's locked in. And it's been super locked in ever since he got his glasses. And I love that so much. because my son, Teddy, also has to wear glasses. So I'm always like, hey, check this out, dude. Like Max Muncy's doing it. He got his glasses on April 30th, last day of April, okay? Leading into that day, I'm going to give you his numbers: 180 batting average, 295, 236 slug for a 531 OPS. That is ice cold. You're right to shiver like that.
Yeah.
Gets his glasses. And what has he done since then? The numbers are astounding. 48 games, 151 at bats. He's hitting 291. He's hitting with a 419 on base percentage, a 583 slug. So he's one dotting it over those games. The best thing about this, love the power numbers, love the OPS. 34 walks to 31 strikeouts.
Wow.
That's not a Max Muncy thing usually.
No.
I don't know, man. Like it's great that he must have felt so bad during the beginning of the year. You know, like what's going on? He finds out he has astigmatism, gets the glasses to fix it or to help out, and the numbers speak for themselves, man. Like how awesome is that? And I think I've told this story before on the show. One of the shows. I was struggling one time in Double-A. And I'm like, man, like I feel like I'm not seeing the ball lately. So I set up a meeting with an optometrist, and I'm like praying that he's going to say, oh man, like we got something, you need to wear contacts. I go in there, he's like, yeah, I don't know what you're hoping for here, but you got 20/20 vision, man. So if you're not seeing the ball, it's not your eyes.
I mean, he should have just given you those like fake glasses.
Something, man.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So I did not have the Max Muncy turnaround that year. It's fine. Things worked out okay. I get to talk ball with my friend Dalton and Dan as well. Today's episode is sponsored by Bosch. When you pick up a Bosch power tool, it makes you feel empowered, confident, and appreciated. No matter what job lies ahead, you will crush it. As a global leader for power tools, measuring tools, and accessories, Bosch's innovative product solutions are built with quality engineering and precision in mind. The assortment of products ensures you have the right tools in your toolbox to tackle a variety of tasks with ease. Bosch's 18-volt battery platform powers numerous tools, creating a consistent energy home that keeps the brand's family of tools running. Like your favorite players on the field, Bosch Power Tools make sure that you are powered up and ready for anything that gets thrown your way, because the more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch. Head to BoschTools.com today to learn more about the power tools you need to get the job done right every time. All right, Dalt, we had a series down in Houston that maybe we thought there were going to be some fireworks, a bunch of runs scored. That was definitely not the case, though, as the Astros sweep the Phillies. They had them held scoreless. They shut them out for 25 innings in a row before Brandon Marsh had an RBI in the 8th inning of the 3rd game. So we had excellent pitching performances throughout. We had Framber going against Ranger Suarez, which was awesome to see. Colton Gordon, out of nowhere, has become a reliable, funky lefty for the Astros. They're now, I believe, 6 games up in the AL West, just quietly chugging along, even without a Yordan Alvarez. So I guess my question to you is, are you more impressed with the way the Astros threw the ball in this series, or are you more disappointed in the Phillies' lack of ability to put runs across the board?
I'm usually a glass half filled kind of guy, but I already talked about Hunter Brown. He already got his flowers, so I'm done with the Astros rotation. I kind of want to talk about the Phillies. You know, that lineup, I'm very disappointed. And sure, you're playing an Astros pitching rotation that's been doing pretty darn good this year, especially when you have guys like Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez. Colton Gordon just coming out of the blue. Kind of nuts, I'll be honest. But yeah, this Phillies lineup, man, a 25 scoreless inning streak. Brandon Marsh breaks it. The Phillies became the 10th team in baseball history to get swept without giving up more than 5 runs in a 3-game set. Last team to do it, Trev, cover your ears, the 2014 Twins. So that hits home a little bit. But,
what series was that? I was right in the thick of that lineup, having a career year.
Nah, that's all I got, 2014 Twins. But yeah, I knew you weren't going to love that one. But yeah, this Phillies lineup, they haven't been awful. It's not like I'm hitting the panic button yet. They are missing Bryce Harper. They're 11-13 without Bryce Harper. Since he's been gone, they're 23rd in runs, though. So that's where it's a little shaky. 16 home runs, is tied for third least during the time without Bryce Harper. You have guys like JT Realmuto, Nick Castellanos, Trey Turner hitting well below their homer averages, like career pace. Phillies are on pace for 166 home runs this year. It would be their lowest since 2016, Trev. So there's been a little bit of a power outage in Philadelphia. I'm not completely concerned because overall, their entire season numbers, starting from the beginning of the season now, look fine. They're okay. Like, we're good. But this June has not been kind to them. Hopefully they get Bryce Harper back soon. It gets them back on track. But I'm a little concerned with how they've been going so far at the beginning of the summer.
I think I'm more impressed with the Astros and the pitching that they've been able to consistently just churn out organizationally. I think it's been super impressive. I said they were 6 games up in the division. I was wrong. They're 6.5 games up in the division. And for a season for the Mariners, it's gone, I don't know, about as good as it can go, I would say. Like, you have a offensive threat in Cal Raleigh who's doing things that have never been done in the game before, the catcher's position. You're still looking up at a huge division lead with the Astros, who have been without Jordan pretty much the entire year. And when he was even there, he wasn't putting up any numbers. So, like, this is a lot of this has to do with what the Astros have been able to do with the ball. So I think if you're the Phillies, you kind of just chalk it up and say, man, we got beat by a really, really good team. Yeah, I think another thing to highlight, like you mentioned, is they're without Bryce Harper. And I guess I just said the Astros have been doing it without Jordan. But yeah, the Phillies need their full complement of batters in the lineup if they want to continue to, go at the Mets. They end up losing the division lead. They're a half game behind the Mets now, but they're going to be there. I think more so, though, you just have to tip your cap, man. Sometimes you're just going to run into a buzzsaw. Framber is going to do that to you. Shout out Ranger Suarez for keeping him in that game. He goes 7 2/3 before giving a backdoor homer to Cooper Hummel. That's another thing. The Astros, they just find guys to just get the job done. Talk about when you have a game and you're the home team and it's a 0-0 game or just a tie game in general, and then the bottom half of the 8th inning, someone hits a go-ahead homer, like, that is the best feeling you can have on a baseball field, because you're like, dude, 3 outs, we get to go home. How awesome is that? They end up getting the job done. I'm super high on this Astros team. I'm also super high on the Phillies as well. But again, I think you just more so have to tip your cap to the guys that are twirling the pill there for the Astros.
Cooper Hummel, former Snake, Trev. Gotta love a Hummel shutout.
Backdoor 3-2 breaking ball. What the heck?
And the him rounding the bases was pretty cool. You could tell how hyped he was. 5th career home run, but to put you guys over the top, like, let's go, man. Yeah. It's going nuts in Houston.
Houston's got it, man. They have a formula there, something going on in that organization that keeps churning out homegrown talent. It's been awesome to see. Speaking of awesome to see, we had a little bit of, I'm not going to call it like a tantrum. I think people are like freaking out about this. Dane Myers not happy with the way this at bat ended. We're going to see it right here. Snaps the bat. Bam! Throws the bat. Throws the other half. The helmet, you stink too. And people were freaking out. In the broadcast, this is what they had to say about it.
Bush.
Bush? Why is that Bush? I don't understand why that's Bush. He's mad that he's mad that he got out, man. He's pissed. Like, I don't mind this emotion. There's nobody around for him to hurt. He's pissed, and that's it. It's not a big deal. So I don't really understand where the Bush comes from. Maybe I missed something in that game where he did something before. Don't know. All I've seen is that guy put his body on the line out there in the outfield for the Marlins all year long. So, like, I'm a Dane Myers guy. Again, did I miss something? Let me know. I don't think I did. So we always have fun with the 5th question. I just threw my pen over there. Look out. So I asked you before the show. I said, all right, love the bat snap. Never did it in my career. I think my bat was too, like, I used a bat that was thick throughout.
You're blaming the bat, Trev.
So, like, no, I didn't want to try that and mess up, and then I look like an idiot. You know, like, usually you want to have a bat that has a skinny handle and a big barrel. Those break a little bit easier.
Okay.
My question to you was, or my challenge to you was, I said, give me your best blow up from a hitter. And I don't even know what you ended up choosing. So I guess let's see the video.
I wanted to choose Dan Rourke in the warehouse. Was not allowed. Producer Dan said, nope, can't do that because those are always my favorite blow-ups. No. going off of my choice, I'm a skinny guy, Trev. I'm not a big guy. I would not be able to break the bat. So I was like, is there any instance that I remember someone trying to break the bat couldn't? Let's go to Carlos Gomez, man. Like 10 years ago. This is awesome. Strikes out on the breaking ball, fights it once, twice, three times. No, slam it down. Still doesn't break. Helmet goes down, everything. I love it. He just couldn't do it. He tried to break it, couldn't do it. And I think that resonates with me because I know if I was in that situation, would not be able to do it too.
I was almost going to reference that as to why I never tried to break it. I was going to say I remember this. I remember watching this, and I was a teammate with
Right.
Carlos Gomez,
Yeah.
and he's a strong individual. I saw him one time in spring training. That we have these like heavy weight bats. Probably was like a 40-ounce bat, and for context, usually guys use like a 31 or a 32-ounce bat. 40-ounce bat he takes up there and hits a freaking home run with it. Like this guy is all sorts of, that guy was one of the most gifted athletes we had seen in a while. The way he could run, the power that he had, he was loco, man. So he had like that also, just the added kind of like I'm crazy strength, and he couldn't do it. So that's why I didn't want to do it.
Totally fair.
So good. That's a great video right there. I'm going with, I think, maybe the most impressive show of strength we've ever seen in the sport. And that is our good buddy, Bo Jackson. Doesn't need the knee. Doesn't even need any like violence for it. Just a casual break right over his head. That's crazy, dude.
Crazy. How? I don't even know the physics off that.
It's because your helmet's slippery as well, so it's not like this like great like base for it. You see it slip right away, and then he just freaking tears that thing apart, man. There's never been anyone in any pro sport like Bo Jackson, so I thought I'd give a shout out to that. I mean, can you imagine having the strength to do that?
I've seen this video like countless times, and my jaw is still kind of dropped seeing it again. It's impeccable, the strength that he
wild.
had.
It is wild.
Crazy.
All right, well, that's going to do it for today's episode. We thank you for sticking with us. Have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday. I don't exactly know when Rose is coming back. Maybe he's just gone forever, and I just stole his show. Chris Rose Sports. Yeah, right. We're changing that handle.
Trevor Plouffe Sports, baby.
That's right. That's what the people want. Nobody wants that. It's okay. But for our good buddy Dalton Feely, producer Dan, and intern Sir, I am Trevor Plouffe. We will see you on Monday. Baseball Today.